Hello. I'm John Barnes, and writer, director. I don't know if I acted in this thing or not. Anyway, modern day Lycanthrope. Director's commentary. Let's see if I can make it through 36 minutes with nonstop chatter. And hit play. Ooh. Look at that globe thing. I thought that was fancy. I think that globe thing was smaller, and originally when I put it into the timeline, it made my entire footage a lot smaller. And so I had to redo the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing. Here we are at Pervert Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Otherwise known as... I don't know what the name of the park is. I'm drinking black cherry lime, sparkling water. Here's George. He's a tree surgeon. If you haven't figured that out, he's passionate. He's passionate. Ooh. Okay, that's enough. Silence isn't consent, George. I'm surprised George showed up because I told him to meet me at Pervert Park. And he's like, why do you call it Pervert Park? And I said, well, that's where all the married guys go to have sex with each other.
Will we see each other again?
George Suckerides. And I was like, how do you pronounce your last name? What is that? Suckerdicks? George Suckerdicks? Well, he showed up. And there he is. That was about the extent of that trail. I don't think we went anything further than that. Cheap camera zoomed in on that tree. And this, I wasn't going to walk in there. I didn't know what those could have been, something itchy. But I told him to go forth, and he did. And I think that's the same trail going the other way. We had limited woods. Very limited.
And when I say someone in the woods, I mean...
Now he touches his mic here, and forever I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And I didn't fix it. You can hear it. But I did found a film blur, or burn. I put that over that, and that worked out well.
And what are your intentions, huh?
That's one of the cowboy hats from Lovin' the Dust.
That does it. If you have brought the dog into the woods, I hope you intend on cleaning up.
And many people have worn that trench coat.
Are you trying to frighten me? I am Roberto Haberto, sole proprietor
of Shrubbery Buggery.
Do not scare easily.
I got the volume down. This is all by memory and mouthing. So you can see one shot where I'm actually kneeling down and he runs past me. This is all very, like I say, we had limited space with any woods. So it was the same thing over and over and over again. There I was. Did you see me? I was waving. Here it comes. Someday I'm going to go back to those woods and see if the Band-Aid is still on that tree. I think that would be fun. I don't have any friends to go with me. Now this is actually me. Not him. I'm coming up. There! That was me. Ooh. Now this was actually filmed in the backyard of Johnny Kahuna's house. And someday he sold that house, I'd like to drive up and show him the footage and let him know what carnage happened in their backyard. That was a fake hand. Dollar store. In case you're scared. For the computer I had, I really crammed a lot of stuff in here, especially this opening sequence. There was a movie I saw couple of years before this. It was called I Sell the Dead. Larry Fessenden. If you have time, pause that and read the paper. I thought that was good. But, and it had a great opening graphics and stuff, and that sort of inspired this. Corey Dials, I only know her from Facebook, but, and now her sister lives in town. She was in the movie, what was it called? Cigarette Girl. Go watch that. So a lot of these numbers, those are very important. They play a part. So this all, well, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. But anyway, foreshadowing. The great Bart Naz, Harry back from the Caribou Show. Ooh, look at those effects. Am I in this? That was sort of a lame picture. I should have made that dripping blood redder, but I was green. That's the thing with filmmaking. 2 years later, you know what's going on. Back then, you don't. I swear that makes sense. Oh yeah, I'm in this one. That's my desk. Moleskin notebooks. I like to use those for my date books.
I fear my dreams are not
appointments.
Since the day I was bitten by a
Ooh, he's got black hair.
thoughts run rampant. Was he a dwarf?
It's been a while
Or a
ago.
little person? I never saw his hands, so I'll never know. Were they as big as his head? Or did he have stumpy little socks?
God, I'm not going to make it through a half hour of this.
I fear his madness has fallen upon me. I feel as though I am being transformed from the inside out. That I'm becoming a...
Oh, there I am. I'm actually wearing shorts.
Sir?
And I forgot how to tie a bow tie. I know how to tie the bow tie part, but how to cinch it. I wasn't cinching it. Once you cross it, then you cinch it, and then you tie it. So it was a little loose. It was so hot. Now this is a reference to the banality of the job I had at the time, which, or just came from, which was is just basically moving numbers from one place to another. And some people at the job were, so pious, and it's like, you're doing the same thing I am, moving numbers from one thing to another. The music did something weird here. I think that was the computer. I don't know. This is all the same wall. That's the same wall. We just flipped. We kept the camera in one spot and flipped us. So.
Sir,
Or no.
what's done with the
Yeah, we
numbers
did.
after we've written them?
We flipped us. He was on the right, and I put him to the left.
So, the Chinese are involved. The crooked
I
Chinese.
sort of felt bad about this line, about the crooked Chinese. But then they started doing stuff. Maybe it's because, maybe it's my fault. Balloons and such. Now this apartment made me realize how loud my apartment was. There's always some humming and stuff. Ah, well. It was a fun day. Except one of my lights went. I was using these tungsten, or I don't know what, the redheads. And they were so hot. And they would just cook you. And then when they die, it was scary as hell. Dave Eastman. He says he's not a good actor. I think it's awesome. Here I am again. I'm wearing pants. It was winter. Had that hair length for the longest time because it took forever to get this dang film done. Sometimes I look at this stuff, and after you do it, and you're like, how the heck did you get all this edited? Because I don't remember doing all these separate shots. The over the shoulders, the master, I guess that's all you need. And it was me. Ooh, look at that fog. I put that over, oop, and then it went away and then it came back. You can see the mic to the right of him. Looks like a cricket. Yeah. I didn't have a lot of funds. And I was so shy or whatever. I didn't want to do the exterior door. So that was the other side of the closet door, as you could tell by the coat hooks. This one I had to chop up so much. I had to chop up from like a bunch of different takes where he's... I love that. Where do you put your pudding? That line there, I had to chop it up and find a word from here, find a word from there. It was a puzzle piece. I think I mentioned pudding in this one twice. And I was thinking those lines were going to take off, like a regular thing. Like a phrase. Like, let's see your pudding, because the proof is in it. Look how soft I look. There were posters all over the wall. And so half of this, Dave had to act on his knees, which is funny because in the last director commentary thing, I was talking about making my actors act on their knees. Maybe it's an ego trip of my own. I wouldn't deny it. Oh, the first transformation. It's an ode to the original Wolfman. That's a pretty good, I think I got that at the dollar store. Mask. It's got hair. Dave's a radio aficionado, which means he likes Italian radios. Looking back, I should have had black makeup appear around his eyes first, and then the mask starts coming. That zoom in does something weird with those buildings. I don't know. It hypnotizes you. Yeah, that wasn't a very steady shot. I should have took it out, but I didn't. And that, I was confused.
Hello,
This is a completely different day.
This evening.
Oh, you startled me.
Super hot.
You're as white as a macro, you is.
I'm just.
It's always nice to make a girl wear a fur coat
I don't feel well.
in the summertime.
There, love.
I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am, and everybody around me has a strange accent.
Well, then it's a good thing you ran into me, love. I can help you with all three.
Really?
You have to keep doing this one to work. I tried to keep her from moving her head. There you can see all those numbers. Oh well.
As far as
I should
accents
have
go,
had some gaffer's tape to put over it.
most beguiling.
Oh,
But that was back in the
I
day.
don't feel well.
It's
Back when I didn't
cold,
have
love.
tape.
My flat is warm and it's right upstairs.
But you don't even know me. I could be a real bad man.
Most men are.
Now
love.
this was
Let's put it
this
to
is
the
back
vote
behind
in the
I don't know what it is. It's a bar's patio now. It's a very trendy place now. And I think we did something to do with that. We put that place on the map. You're welcome, Remedy. And there they go. And oh, you getting nauseous? I am. Now this was supposed to be an ode to Giallo films. And then I brought my own shrubbery, and she didn't like it, so she had to go get her own.
You're the first.
I never noticed. It looks like he's got writing on his hand.
I don't really want
But yeah, the lighting is supposed to be an ode to some Giallo lighting, which, if If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. You got the internet, don't you? Ooh, yeah. She's having fun. That was a fun day. I think I went to the fair that morning. In fact, I know I did.
Oh, you know, I don't really get involved with my clients, but it is kind of romantic.
Sometimes things work, but I didn't have an end for that scene. Luckily, I found that look where he looks to the one side.
Oh, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not into that.
Yeah, there's always somebody into something.
Ooh. Well, maybe I am.
For the right price. I wonder what happened to those lights.
Oh, my.
I think somebody's got them. And not me. Probably at some band place. And it's finished.
Men.
Some global shutter there. Some global shutter.
Yes, and I believe that he met with some sort of foul play.
And what does that have to do with me?
The scene of the
Scott
crime was on
Pearson.
this piece of paper with
We
numbers
both
on
have
it.
thick and luxurious, luxurious hair.
I should have a look at it.
Yes, does the handwriting look familiar to you?
You have
I handed him a picture of my wife,
cell number.
and so he's, I told him we'll get a picture of the wife, and then he turns to the camera and he holds the picture up. Am I? Yeah. It still makes me laugh.
I think I'll take my lunch
That's a
now.
completely
Fine,
different day.
fine. Now go. I'm in an important meeting with the chief of police.
And there you can see
I'm in a
I didn't cinch my bow tie. Oh, the numbers again. Really nailing home the banality of that job I had. I was big into espresso.
Is there anyone else at management I could
Only Figgish, but he is mysterious.
That's for you, Katie.
Today.
Do you know his address?
She'll be coming up later. She always says, I should get that noise recorded. Well, there you go.
He may be able to tell me something about the tree surgeon's murder.
Murder. You said foul play.
Well, that is what I meant.
The thing is, at the time, this it seemed like such a miserable experience, and I look back on it fondly. And
My wife died the same.
I don't know why.
She left me 9 years ago.
There's Corey Dials. That's how I got her in the film, just by picture.
Well, if it's murder,
With her
I should have to
consent.
investigate.
No,
I don't think she signed anything.
we'll investigate.
Yes, she did, in case she's listening. She signed everything.
You just have to answer my questions.
And we must then ask
I'll give her.
why. And
Well, I'm
more
not giving her
importantly,
anything.
Will they do it again?
Should I go back and
Because if it's a
record this?
one-time thing,
Anyway.
couldn't we just forgive and forget?
You can never forget murder. I will keep in touch.
There's some painting I was working on back there. I don't know. It was. I have my life. I never knew what to do with hair. And I still don't. I'd walk down the street like that. Listen to this typing. It sounds like is it an Iron Maiden song? I don't know where it is. But that's that same wall that we were at before.
Hello, this is Mitch.
And I was always like, I can never put anything on that wall. Well, now it's
Horde District.
covered by a giant guitar amplifier. So I can't film there anymore. Oh, there's that weird picture thing again. There's Bart Nass. I must have slowed that picture down. Or that section down.
Not. Do you want to help us find the murderer or
I
not?
told him to bring his own blanket.
Want to incriminate myself.
Because
You're not in trouble. Just tell me
I don't do
everything.
sharesies.
What were you doing there?
Well, it's payday, and I thought I'd come down here, because I like to
Thick,
have
luxurious
hot
hair.
on my-
Ooh, and that hat is making an appearance in my latest film called The Happy Places. So how about that?
I waited in the hall, hoping to get beaten by some shrubbery. And then I heard a scream of bloody murder.
I was going to return the hat to Target, but someone took the price tag off.
I busted open the door, but it
So
was
now it's
too
mine to keep.
late. Her body parts were scattered all over the parlor.
And what about the murderer?
He smashed out the window, but before he jumped, he turned
Looks like there was
around
once a
and
window behind him,
So you can identify him.
but they bricked it
I
up.
can tell you what he is. Do you believe
Probably
in
somebody's
werewolves, Chief?
wife or ex-lover
What are you saying?
in a cask of
Werewolf on my hands
Mor-
whenever the moon is out.
Mortadella
To kill a werewolf, Chief, only a silver
baloney.
bullet can kill a werewolf.
My gypsy grandmother used to say, Clipta Hoover Venetian Sluzen.
Which means
That's another
He who is good can turn into a shitheel.
throwback to the original werewolf, the universal monster, he who bites the wolfbane and says a prayer at night or whatever. Ooh, it looks like almost some bokeh with that cheap camera.
I really did. I truly
We were originally going to film this in black and white on high C, high 8, I don't know, some tape,
10 minutes at a time.
but it started eating the tape, so we couldn't do that. I don't know where this is. It's just a picture. So I think that's my pillow, for crying out loud. I made Kahuna lay on the floor there. This is back at the fancy patio. And to be frank, I had no idea how I was going to shoot that. You can see a tripod there. Oh. I knew I wanted to do this, but I wasn't sure how. But I figured it out, and it looks like something. Whoop, there's it. It's coming right at you. Oh, I love this part.
What's Papa doing in the whore district?
This is awesome. I used to get these shots. I had to shoot in my stomach, and that was the box it would come in. It'd be frozen. You'd have to shoot cold gel in your stomach. Yep, that was the face I'd make. Uh-oh. Now, what could it be? A box. Oh, perishable. Hopefully it doesn't have my address on there. Probably does. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I sort of feel bad. We all miss Dave now. It was actually acrylic paint I put on his mouth. I wasn't quite sure how to block that, but I did it, and it's done. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm sort of worried about my pillow, though. And I don't know. I lit it, and I was like, how am I going to make this look like it's nighttime and dark and silhouette-y? She's carrying a candle, for crying out loud.
Well, I believe that's my business.
You're a peculiar man, and you keep peculiar.
Like I say, I didn't know what I was doing.
Man, then the hours I keep should not shock you.
I don't like it. Coming and going at all hours of the night.
This is the first time working with Katie.
I run a respectable.
And, or no, it's not. Or was it? Maybe it was. No, it wasn't. But anyway,
What's that smell?
What are you talking about?
this was the day that,
Got a smell?
well, first time working with her and Kahuna together anyway.
I knew I'd tell ya. If you smelled like a
This is the day she told us, if you get an erection that lasts more than 4 hours, it's going to fall off. So
Exactly.
we were doing a lot of math in our head that day. And those curlers sort of help keeping that at bay as well. She says that looks like milk, which I guess it does. Oh, here's my house. Not really. Looks like it's like England or something. Here's another picture of Corey Dials.
I
miss you so.
who said we should make music together, and I wrote a song, and
Like tonight,
I haven't heard from her
I miss
since.
you the most. You would do your word games, your puzzles, and I'd say, turn off that light, you daft cow. But I love you dearly. And I do miss you, my darling.
Boy, you can see him. Almost, there's that same wall. It's not even the same. I was acting alone there.
What are you doing?
That's good
here?
acting.
This is
I was
my
acting all by
channel.
myself, in a room by myself. How pathetic.
Well, of course I know what you want.
Looks like I'm starting to get a little gray.
Well, my boat don't float down the brown moat.
What did the police chief want?
Not to say that I'm not flat.
There's one of
Mr. Heath,
maybe my best
The
lines.
posterior I prefer is that of the ladies. My great-grandfather used to say, if it's an ass worth grasping, it's an ass worth slapping.
No, I didn't really say that.
nipple.
But,
Oh, you know what else I like? I like the boobalicious
well, here comes the
boobies,
best line.
but I
Maybe.
don't like a bumpy areola. What am I doing? Making love or reading braille?
Mr. Heath nipple.
And that's true.
You can
Well, it's
use
not.
an
I'll take what I
organ,
can get.
but as soon as
Wait,
my
can-
glass is full, I would just
I'll
as
erase
soon
that.
have them leave. Don't
Maybe
wait, I
later.
want you to leave.
You're not listening to me.
And you're not
He's holding the
listening
mic.
to me. I want you to leave. Oh, but before you do, can you pull the drapes? I'll never get any sleep with the light of the full
This must have been like
moon.
after work. You can see I've been drinking coffee.
Full moon?
Teeth are all coffee colored. My teeth look like crap anyway. But yeah, this is like a completely separate day.
Good God, man, no wonder you don't have a wife. You've suppressed your puberty and it's
I like the
sprung
noise
out
the
of you
pitcher
all at
makes.
once.
Now it's dusk or twilight. He's on my pillow again. I met this guy. We used to be in bands. We were going to do one movie
I
called
knew that smell.
Rocket Red Glare. I still got the footage, but
Smell that emanates from your room.
my friend was doing all the filming, and
It keeps me up at night.
then he gave me the footage, and it's all coded different. I can't figure out how to open it.
Smell is a smell I've smelled before. You have a dog in here.
It's a nice backlighting on her.
Yeah? Well, let's see your pudding, because the proof is in it.
It's like, ooh, this is like the first time something worked out. I don't know what was in that one shot there, but
I told you there's
those
no
were
dog
from
here.
our Tidy Whitey skit. The Tidy Whitey Men from the Caribou Show, the original. I don't know what happened to him. Scott brought some more underwear for our Tidy Whitey sequel.
Full moon?
Looked like the blood all ran to his head. I think this was back at the wall. You gotta have one main wall. Like if you're moving into a house, find your wall. This, I should have removed. Maybe I could probably cut it out now. I should have removed this.
Mr. Heath nipple.
Wrong thing. He brought his own microphone instead of using mine, but then he put it in the coat, so it's all shuffling. Well, what? I don't know what. I thought it would be funnier if I put all these papers out, or maybe that's just the way I had them. I don't know. Anyway, so I had a bunch of stuff out. And then there wasn't any audio. So, or no, he was shuffling around too much. So I made him do a voiceover, which didn't match anything. So I should have just cut this off. So, if something doesn't work, I thought it'd help the story along. And guess what? It just looks weird. If something doesn't work, don't do it. Anyway, I don't know. Ooh, it's daylight. And the light's on.
Mr. Wolf!
There's a squirrel on the deck. I'll play with him later. Okay, so And now it's daylight. It's like, I don't know. It was all the same day.
What is that? Is that a woman?
And then
See teeth and intestines?
one of our
Bosoms?
Patreons is those blasted things.
Look at those blasted
Well, they're not
things.
really, but because we don't have a Patreon. But you get the point. Now here's something you can do, like with your actors. Like so he's just doing his lines.
It was closed.
Now I'll say, "What do you do to the innkeeper?" But he said it's sort of flat.
I went to Pegasus' house.
He's like, "Oh, what do you do to the innkeeper?" But if you listen to it,
What did you do? You must have killed him.
it sounds pretty good.
What did you do to the innkeeper?
Because I used a pitch shifter on it. And so, yeah, it sounded a lot better because I shift the pitch. Got to shift the pitch if...
If I'm not me,
Who am I? Yeah, I raised that as well.
Wasn't affected by, say, a pretty girl.
So,
No. Or a lust for power. No. Or
and I had a better take on his exit,
no. Or
but he didn't
perhaps you were
he didn't
affected by something as simple
say
as
it or something.
full moon.
did you
But
say
the bag floats in the air. Yeah, he threw the bag at the camera, but then he didn't do the scream or whatever. I put that in there because look at that. It looks like a cross. Isn't it? Like, they're trying to protect people from that guy. Now, this was Pervert Park as well, in a different area. And I was so disgusted because there were kids playing around there. And that was one of the things about Pervert Park, as far as, no kids would go there. And then if you went there with your camera, all the perverts would leave. So then you had the whole place to yourself. But, you can see I got bags of crap there. And then for the longest time, we just stood there because those guys were afraid of the bees. And they're like, stop swatting at them. And I'm swatting at the bees. And they're afraid they're going to get stung. And I'd just leave them there. And sure enough, I would. Hope you're not squeamish. I don't know if the effects on the bridge show up or it was just the pitch. The two different pitches didn't show up. But I was disgusted because there should be some bullet ricochets on the bridge at the end. There they go. Except, yeah, it didn't do the pitch. It was supposed to be two pitches.
I don't have any silver bullets, but I brought this.
This didn't work out too good. I figured out afterwards I could have done it better. You can see the price tag on his
I figure if I beat your head to mush,
hat that I was planning on
it won't matter
returning.
much if you're living or dead anyway.
Colonel Mustard,
Let's get to
mustard
this.
shirt. This is a completely different part because we had to get away from those kids. And then, who's somebody sexy coming? Oh, I was overweight and sweaty. I was so hot. And that hair, I think I put gunk in my hair that made me sweatier.
That ought to do it. Now people won't have to worry about being ripped apart if there's a full moon.
And the fact is, I was making meatloaf that night. I don't know if he said that line yet. Kahuna was better doing this than I was. I wasn't very good at it. That's the name of the werewolf guy, in case you haven't figured that out.
But it's time
Here
for
it is,
supper,
meatloaf.
and Mother is making meatloaf tonight. Do you know what her secret is?
Because I don't have the volume up.
Cheese and the meat. But don't tell anyone.
Oh, and here it comes. Evil Dead type thing. I thought that was okay. or out of everything I did. Here's the price tag. And I put so much crap on this thing, and my computer really couldn't handle it. I just tried to make it go to a disk, upload to a disk, render to a disk, and it would never do it. It'd be like 6 hours, and then it'd say fail. And then I finally got it to whatever, render. I'm tired. Look at all these people. And the music, this music was sort of, this was like one of the first things I didn't record music on a keyboard. Or maybe I did. Because there's my mom's on there, probably because I got a keyboard from her. What did I record the keyboard music on, though? I don't know. Anyway, Production Crate. One of these music things, though, yeah, that Mija was a cool, no, it was Jute Deck, I don't know. One of these things was a cool, well, I messed up the, alright, it went too fast. I'm done. Udo Velvet Productions. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Look at yourself in the mirror. Give yourself a smile. You made it.